During the latter part of the 1st century AD, Christians living in Rome awoke to a new reality: imperial persecution. No one knows how many died at the hands of Nero, Emperor of Rome, but the casualty count included at least one of the church's most prominent leaders, the Apostle Peter. Peter's death prompted his friend Mark to retell the story of Jesus as a reminder of what Christians were living and, in some cases, dying for. The book of Mark reads like an eyewitness account to the life of Jesus. That's because, in some ways, it is. According to tradition, Mark preserved the memories of Peter from his days as a disciple. Among other things, Mark shines a great big spotlight on Peter's famous denial of Jesus the night of his arrest. This unflinching portrait of the church's most beloved leader was a reminder not to deny Jesus the way Peter had, but to remain loyal in the face of death, as Peter did in his final days. Mark wastes no time getting to the point. His fast-moving plot was unlike most biographies of the day. It was more like a drama, like those performed on stages across the empire. In these ancient stories, tension would steadily build to a crisis, at which point rival parties would hatch their plans. The resulting conflict would cause an overturning of the current reality as a new one took shape. In the opening half of Mark's two-part drama, tension steadily builds over Jesus' identity as he teaches, heals, and runs afoul of the religious authorities. Then, in part 2, tension erupts into overt conflict as Jesus travels to Jerusalem, where he clashes head-on with the authorities. In response, they hatch their plan to have Jesus killed, overturning all he's done, or so they think, because Mark's story ends abruptly, with God overturning their deed and raising Jesus back to life. The book of Mark is a reminder just how subversive Christianity was in its earliest days. The first followers of Jesus believed God would overturn the existing order, with all its injustice, and establish a new reality. Many of them paid dearly for this belief. Mark's story encouraged them to hold on to the hope that God would someday overturn their suffering and death, just as he had for Jesus.